Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. Now, before we get started, I just want to give a really quick shout out to Nathaniel. Stay creative, keep pushing the limits of that creativity, because that is one of the very few things that no one in life is going to be able to teach you. So keep honing that, keep pushing those boundaries, and you'll be surprised at how far you go. So keep it up, man. And with that said, since last episode, I have done quite a bit of work. We'll go ahead and go over this, and then I'm going to tell you a quick story about what happened after last episode. It was actually the next day, but anyways, down here I have been working. I know it's a torch mess, it's a stone mess, it's just one big mess, and I do apologize. It's very much a work in progress. Like I said, I was going to be bouncing between, you know, the Dragon Dens, the Pirate Cove part, and this cave section for right now. To some extent, because, you know, I'm working on dragons, I'm working on getting better food and all that stuff, and then I'm also working on just trying to get everything cleaned up. And this is just, it's a big area, so it does take a lot of work. Over here, I've expanded our apiaries. I've moved our apiaries down here, and I've expanded them. I still have a lot more bees. I just have to, I've actually got some spruce running through the cutting machine. I started running it like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours ago. I don't know, it was a long time ago, and I've forgotten to take it out. So, shipping bin is down here. I actually got a ton of emeralds earlier. Nearly a stack of emeralds from selling stuff that had built up. Also, I'm currently on the server right now with Arcturon, Insane Void, JC Solvent, Kendrick, Kokyu, Leon of the Wind, Neon Grill, RDFA, Celege, Solar Hunt, and Transworlder. So, quite a few people on right now. This is actually pretty standard for this server. It's very, very active, to say the least. Now, right over here, I have set up a little area. It's not done. I still have to. I'm going to do some little like detail work here on the front because it's kind of plain. And funny story, like these bricks look really great, right? These are made out of dirt. These bricks are made out of dirt. They're silty dirt, which is just a biomes of right. It's biomes of plenty dirt. Yeah, it's from Biomes of Plenty, but it's been chiseled. Thanks to Unlimited Chisel Works, which is a great mod. It adds a lot of chisel, you know, textures and stuff to blocks that normally don't have chisel support. And this is silty dirt that has been chiseled to make this almost ancient-looking stone. It is quite a nice-looking stone. And when I was asked like what it was made out of, I was just like, dirt. But anyways, up here I've kind of done some grass, some leaves up at the top there, and hopefully from this you can maybe get an idea of how this area of the build is going to go. Of course, this is a change from our Great Wood, and this is actually starting like another segment of the build. Like there's a few different segments altogether that this build is going to be comprised of. And the pirate area, I mean, it's still technically all owned, I guess, by the pirates, but that Great Wood and, you know, all that Great Wood area, that's just one segment of the build. It's not going to be the entire build. It's just going to be Great Wood. So, but maybe this will give you an idea of where this part of the build is going. So down here, I have done what I think is actually I was like racking my head because I didn't just want a bunch of Pam's Harvestcraft trees everywhere. So what I've done is I've actually pulled up the nodes, and I have moved the Pam's Harvestcraft fruit down to here. So we have, this isn't all of them. I'm going to have to make more structures, and they're probably going to be slightly different. But so far we have avocados, pears, walnuts, lemons, nutmeg, cherries, gooseberry, plum, and chestnuts. I found all these on top of the mountain, but go figure, right? But if you want to know how to move those, what you do, I'm going to go ahead and just grab a pear off of here. You can take your shears, and this does work with vein miners, so you can get a bunch of these if they're like clustered together on a tree. You can just, it takes a while to break these, but you can pull them off, and then you can move them and replace. So that is how that works. So if you want to do that, I mean, you know, you can move your nodes and have all your farms compact. And of course, you can automate it pretty easily with a automated user and just set them up so they're connected up to automated users. That would work fine as well. And actually, I got this one too, apparently. There we go. So anyways, that's what I've been working on in here. Now, these aren't fully filled out. I still have to finish filling these out, but I've just been kind of getting everything done. I've really been kind of, since last episode, I have been honing in on Pam's Harvest Craft. Like, I've actually made a spreadsheet, and I've been going through the spreadsheet and like seeing what all I need and marking things off and all of that. Over here, I've got these like little curved staircases that come down, and ones that come down right here as well. And of course, all that's got to be shaped up and everything. But and then if you come down here, like, look at that view. I think it's going to look really cool once everything's put in. Like, right now, it's a huge mess. There's stone and ores and everything everywhere. But I think once everything's put in, I think it's going to look really, really cool. I've actually got a lot of work on here done, more than I was expecting to get done, because it does take a while. Like, to give you an idea, my smooth stone all comes from this hammer, and I have like 200 stacks of smooth stone at the moment. Just to give you an idea. All throughout here, this is Pam's Harvest Craft. This is not even all the crops either. I still have a few more to put in here. Not to mention I have Actual Additions crops to put in here. I have Rustic crops to put in here. I have Extra Utilities crops to put in here. I have a lot of crops left to put in here. So far, this is all pretty much just Pam's, aside from, you know, what we started with over there with like the carrots and the wheat. That's what I've been working on since the last episode, is just a lot of Pam's and trying to get Pam's. I want everything. You know, I want everything in here. So there is a lot. Pam's is up to about almost 100 crops, you know, between fruit trees and seeds. So, I mean, it's very much a work in progress. So, funny story since the last episode. You'll actually notice I have 2 dragon horns on me. So the dragon that we hatched last episode that, like, disappeared off my shoulder, yeah, I ended up finding it. I heard it crying, and I was like, what is that sound? And I come out here, like, I see this little blue dot on my map, and I was like, I wonder if that's what I think it is. I come over here, and it's sitting down here at the bottom of the water at, like, half health, just crying. So, I saved it. I saved it, and, yeah. Our dragon that we got last episode, the one that we first got, this is it. So, I have named it Sarathstra, and another WoW reference, of course. And if you take a look here, it is a female, 6 days old at the moment. I'm just letting it, it's just aging on its own right now. I'm not feeding it meal or anything like that. I did have to feed it. I fed it just some pork to get its hunger up, but I haven't really fed it any meals as of yet. So, because I need poison potatoes, because I don't have any. Well, I've got one because I did harvest some. Let me actually, I've got a ton of these waypoints. Of course, that's part of playing on a server. Like, you add like everybody, and you add, you know, lots of different things to your map. So, now last episode, whenever I thought our egg bugged, I was like, no, I just cheated in a new one because I thought it was a bug. But since we ended up finding our dragon, this other blue egg, because both of our dragons right now are blue dragons, but this other blue egg, because of course we had 2 of these, I'm going to toss it into the lava. So it'll be a sacrifice. Ice dragons hate fire and lava. I'm sorry, this is a sacrifice. Cue the funeral march. So, anyways, into the lava it goes, and now we're square with the server again. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be doing. And I was doing some testing earlier just to make sure that my calculations and everything were correct, and it worked perfect. This is something that's been in the planning. You remember whenever we first came down here and started putting down wheat and beetroot and stuff? Yeah, this is something that I'd been planning on and working up to since back then. I tend to plan ahead a lot, like really far ahead. Okay, so what we're going to be working on today is we're going to start getting into a little bit of auto harvesting. And we are going to be going with the harvester from Cyclic, automated gentle harvesting. Now this does require an advanced machine casing. I've been prepping up some things. There's actually a quest for making an advanced machine casing, so we're actually going to finish a quest today. We will get back into quests. It's just that's not my top priority right now. It's other things at the moment. So we're going to need to get ourselves. First up, we're going to need to get some advanced alloys. These craft 2 at a time. I've got the stuff to make 4 of those, and we're just going to toss these into the compressor, start compressing them down into our alloy. And there we go. And the rest of it's just steel plates and carbon plates to make these. So let's go ahead, get our advanced machine casings, 2 of those, and quest complete advanced machine casing. Alright, so that unlocks industrial foregoing, basically. And we're going to take the first loot chest, claim. And there we go. Let's see what we got. We got a Sacred Oak sapling from Biomes Plenty. Alright. And I'm just going to dump these extra plates into here for right now. And then to make the harvester, we just need obsidian, nether quartz, a dispenser, and some emeralds. Okay, so I should have everything that we need. There's our 2 dispensers, and there is our 2 harvesters. Oops. And then what we're going to do, artifacts. Right in here, spectre coils. If you recall, I found these a while back. We have 9 of them, which is plenty for my farm, actually. So let's go ahead and grab 2 of those. And actually, one thing I'm curious about. I want to try this just really, really quick. We're not going to be setting this up right now, but something that just came to mind that might possibly work. Because if this works, this is going to be a little bit crazy, in fact. So if we set up a... See, I'm going to grab a little bit of my silty dirt. My beautiful silty dirt. Let's put our harvester right there. That's 15 by 15. We're going to say always on, and let's attach our spectre coil to it. And I want to see, I'm going to set this to area. Because it actually doesn't really make any difference if you do single or area. Area is just a lot faster. And I'm curious to see if this harvests. Oh my gosh, it does. Look at that. Pow, in one go. Yeah, we're going to have to use that. So we are definitely going to have to use that. That is crazy OP. I know there's some people on my server that'll be happy to have seen that, because they were asking about, you know, there used to be the fruit picker from MFR, right? But Industrial Foregoing does not have the fruit picker, and nothing that it has comes to mind as doing that, that I can think of. And you probably see where I'm going with this, because the harvesters from Cyclic are really good, and they're really OP, and a Spectre Coil can run them, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come right over here. We're going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right in here. Of course it's right in here. Because I am pretty sure that right up there is water. Which is not what I want to happen. Yeah, right there is my silty dirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to block off this and that. I'm drowning. I'll block that off for just a second while we clean up that sand. That's the worst thing, is I'm right on the border right there with a whole bunch of water. But yeah, I'm really happy that that works. I wasn't 100% sure. You know, I hadn't ever tried the harvester from Cyclic with that, so it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, you know. But I'm really happy that that does work, in fact. All right. So what we're gonna do is let's place that. Actually, put that back for just a minute here. I just don't want water coming through and just like rushing over all my crops. I mean, I could put a little catch hole down there, but it's still a little bit dangerous, so I'd rather avoid that. Okay, so our harvester is down. And then what we're going to do is, let's actually dig back in here. Oh, no. Okay, it's coming down through there. Right there is our harvester. Okay, that's great. And behind that is gravel. Any water coming down on me? No, okay. Perfect. Silty dirt. Silty dirt is stopping it. Great. Let me put that cobblestone there just in case. We're going to attach the Spectre Coil right onto the back of that. And we're going to say, once again, area. And we're going to say, always on. And so that's going to start running, and whenever it goes through, like, look at that. Pow. It just harvested all of that in a single, you know, a single rotation, or a single operation, I mean. And you can see it's that. You know, basically all of this field, this huge 15 by 15 area. So if I put one harvester on that side, one harvester on this side, it'll harvest like all the way to here. And then I do another harvester. It's 4 lines per harvester. So then it would harvest all the way out to here. And then if I did, you know, maybe 2 more fields behind these and all of that in one go. You know, and all together this entire, like, everything seed related for 6 harvesters and 6 Spectre Coils. And then I did additional harvesters over there for all my Pam's fruits. And we would be golden. We would be absolutely golden. We are going to be automating literally everything in the next few episodes, because I just want to go ahead and get agriculture automated and done. And we're going to start with it this episode. And so I'm going to come on over to this side. And it'll be, yeah, right down here, right through the middle. And we're going to set up another harvester on this side. I guess we'll do that. Is that what I want to do? Or... I mean, that's my rice. That's the only thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to start with this side because that's actually crops that I'm using at the moment. This side, I'm just putting in crops to put in crops, you know. Which, honestly, they're not expensive to make. I mean, they're crazy cheap. And Spectre coils, like, that's the thing. Normally, I couldn't run these because I don't have RF production yet. Spectre coils, though, 128 RF per tick, just constantly for free. We might as well put them to use for something like this because we'll never have to run power cables down here, ever. And I've got enough to run our entire, probably our entire agriculture area with just the Spectre coils that I've gotten so far. So we'll put this one down right there. Area, always on. And of course these Spectre coils come from exploration. So watch this, like watch how fast this is. Pow! Just instantly everything is harvested. It honestly is a beautiful thing to watch run. Tea leaves. Somehow I have not been planting those. I have been bad. Now, one bad thing to note about these is whenever they fill up, they just start spewing their items on the ground. So we're going to have to deal with that, but we are going to deal with that this episode. Okay, so our harvesters are up and running. And so I can literally chunk this area, go away, and they're going to keep harvesting. And you'll notice, I mean, technically this thing, if it had more energy, it could run a little bit faster. You know, it's not running at full speed, but I don't need it at full speed. You know, it's running through, because this thing consumes energy constantly. That's one of the things, like if you plug power to this thing is a power hog. Especially when you're doing area, but somehow the Spectre coil makes it work, and it's plenty fast. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to get transfer nodes. It's about time that we get some automatic item transfer system. You know, it's been a little while. It's been a little bit into the pack before we've actually started automating anything, but we're going to automate it all, like, just bam. Probably not all this episode, probably this episode and next episode. Go ahead and knock all this automation out. So to make transfer nodes, we need to make transfer pipes. And to make transfer pipes, you get 32 of them, but you do need XNet cables. Now, these aren't terribly expensive. You can see right here that they require some redstone, a gold plate, and lapis plates, and you get 32. Not expensive at all. I'm pretty sure I've got the gold plates. Okay, so of course we can just run these through the block cutter and get our... pull this out. Pull that out. Okay, that's actually got lava at the moment. That's great. We'll go ahead and get our gold plates and our lapis plates. And of course right now I'm making a little bit more than what I have to have right this second. Let me just actually pull up the XNet, because I'm going to go ahead and make as many of these as we can. So there's 2 stacks of them. That'll be great because we will put those to use. Quest complete gate pipes. Let's see. We get to choose either 2 controllers, 64 blue network cables, or 4 blue connectors. Which leads to thermodynamics. I'm actually going to leave that quest uncompleted for right now because I don't know. I might actually go with the controllers. Makes me wonder if I should just go into... let me see. What does it take to actually do like the connectors and stuff? But you know this is actually really cheap. I think I would probably go with the controllers, honestly. Do I just want to go with XNet then? And then we could put a Spectre coil on there? Because I feel like that would actually be a bit cheaper. There's dense bronze or dense gold. Yeah, okay, let me do that. Let's go with the 2 controllers. Yeah, we'll just do that because that's just less crafting. I mean, the transfer pipes are cheap. They are really, really cheap. But XNet is awesome because it's not really laggy. You know, it's great on server performance, stuff like that. And I don't think that actually has a tab. No, I don't see anything. Man, getting XNet this early it's really good, actually. And we got 2 controllers, so I can have 1 controller that just does our agriculture area, and then I can have another controller for, you know, elsewhere. I think that'll be good. So let's go ahead and get ourselves the stuff that we need. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and make the stuff for 2 sets of connectors. Because that's only 2 connections, and I'm going to want more than that. So we're going to be making those quite a bit, in fact. But I do have a lot of gold ore. I just need to get it ran, so that's not a problem. And then we're going to need just a couple chests and a bit of redstone, which I've got. Okay. Yeah, that actually comes out to be cheaper, strangely enough. I hadn't looked at XNet just because I was assuming that, you know, normally XNet's a bit later because it's so powerful. You know, it's kind of like an end-all be-all type item transfer, kind of like the nodes were, you know, whenever we did them in SevTech. And that was pretty much end-all be-all item transfer. And XNet's kind of the same way. Okay, so we've got everything that we need now to make our connectors. So let's go ahead and get 2 sets of those. And then let's go ahead and also get, I've got some 2x2 frame drawers here. And let me actually get a little bit more of this Nagastone pillar. I'm using mossy Nagastone pillars and just raw limestone to get this look on the drawers. I actually quite like it. I think they're going to fit in nicely. So let's go ahead and get 20 of those. And then one last thing that I'm going to want, well, I'm going to want a spectre coil, right? But we're going to have a separate drawer network that handles just stuff from the agriculture. That's going to be the bees, the automated fish nets, automated ground traps, automated ground traps have to see the sky. Or ground traps have to see the sky. We might actually do something for that, though. We'll see. But it's going to handle all of that stuff, the bees, the fruit, the seeds, all that stuff that's down there. We're going to have just a drawer network that handles all that stuff. So one last thing that I'm going to want, and that is I'm going to want to finally make a drawer controller. This right here. So we need skystone blocks. We need reinforced stone. Okay, so there's our reinforced stone. There's 32, which should be good for a bit. And then we're also going to want to get the skystone. That's just smelted. That's just smelted skystone. I've got that. I'm not going to worry about that on camera. A drawer, a diamond. Then we're going to need 2 redstone engineering blocks. And these are not that bad. Constantine is a combination of nickel and copper. And you get 2 pieces. So let me go grab some nickel and copper. We're going to get it running through the smeltery. Funny story, I've never actually processed down any nickel. So I'm going to have to process this down. But while we're waiting, let's take a look again. I think the rest of this I'm probably just going to do off camera, I think. And I'm making a bit extra of this stuff because I'm actually going to need 2 drawer controllers for our storage network up there. I'm going to have 1 on each side, which I will be getting those set up as well. But anyways, I'm going to get this stuff ran, and I'll be back here in a bit when I have everything to make our drawer controllers. Okay, I've got everything that we need to get this ball rolling. So drawer controllers. Oh, I am missing one thing, but let's go ahead and get our redstone engineering blocks. There is 6 of those. And then if we pop over here, I've got the skystone. I forgot to pull it out. There we go. And there we go. Right. Are you going to go? For some reason it won't auto place, so we're just going to have to manually place this out real quick. Oh, there we go. Okay. It may have been a lag... Well, I don't know. It wouldn't have let me move this stuff. I don't know. I have no clue. Could have been like some kind of lag spike or something. So anyways, let's pop over here. And we're going to get this thing set up. Now, I'm thinking that right over here, I'm going to have this big wall here. Of course, this is basically the wall that connects over, into this tavern area. And so it would be a great place to have our drawer network set up, because then I could run cables up to the kitchen. And what I'm thinking is we're actually going to have those fridge upgrade units. And we're going to have the kitchen set up so that it keeps those items in stock for us. So the fridge always has 1 stack of pretty much everything, agriculture related. It's going to keep like a stack in here. So that is what I'm thinking. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this in the very center, our drawer controller. And then we're just going to take our drawers, and I went ahead and dug this out. And we're just going to place these out like so. I actually like that drawer look. I think it'll look good once this room is done. So there we go. And then we're going to take our drawer key and just right click our drawer controller and lock all of these at the same time. Okay, so now that that's done, then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab these crops. I'm going to grab a little bit of each. Well, do I want to connect it first? Is that what I want to do? I think that's what I want to do. Let's see. I've got time. Okay, so what we're going to do is right back in here. Let's actually go right behind this. And let me hit F7 just so I can see if it's dark. You won't be able to see behind all of this, so that'll be fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to start setting up our XNet network. And I'm going to come down... Oh, let's see. This is Y51. And let me go ahead and actually mark... We're going to say here, and that'll tell us where we need to go to, roughly. And so it's Y51 is the floor. So we're at Y50. Let's come down to Y48. And then we're just going to burrow into the ground here so that we can run some cables. Okay, so right here is our harvester. And so what we're going to do is we are going to take our connector and we're just going to connect this onto the bottom of the harvester. And there we go. And we're going to call this, we'll call this harvester 1. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to say directions. We'll leave that as is. We don't have to do anything there. And then we're going to take our network cables and we're just going to run these. Oops. We're going to run these down. And then right there. Let me actually drop a torch. And we're just going to run these back. Asgard's getting high tech now. we're getting item transfer, which is awesome. For some reason, I didn't think about XNet being this early in the pack, because normally XNet's like later, because it is a very powerful item transfer mod. Okay, so we're going to run it up like that, and then we're going to take a connector, and we're just going to plug this into the drawer controller, and we're going to call this drawer controller. And you don't necessarily have to name them, it just makes it a little bit easier. And then we're going to take our controller, and we're going to set this guy up like right there. You can tell it's very RF Tools looking. And your controller does need a connector connected up to it, so just a heads up. And it does need some power coming in, so we're just going to take our Spectre disc, and there we go. It's going to start charging this thing up. And then we're going to say the connector here, it's on the downside. We're going to make a, let's see, channel 1. We're going to set this to XNet items. We're going to create it. And item distribution, we're going to leave that as is. Processing, we're going to call this, we really don't need to name it even. What we're going to do, you can name it. We can say this is, there we go, drawer in is going to be the name of it. Priority, we're going to say this is a priority. And we're going to say the downside of this, we're going to create it. This is for the harvester. And you can actually see, that's why you don't really have to name it, because it shows what it's connected to and it tells you what it is. So we're going to say that it's going to extract, we're going to say stacks is fine. Number of ticks for operation, we're going to say 10. That's going to be fine, because it's not going to be harvesting, you know, that much really. And then we're going to say extract mode is just first available, no blacklist, and that's all good. Okay, so we're just going to leave that as is. Redstone mode's ignored. There's a lot of control in here, and we're going to be getting into that control as we move forward. Now right here, this drawer controller, we're going to make a channel here, or we're going to make this part of channel 1. And basically, if I had the drawer controller set as like channel 2, it wouldn't interact with this. Basically, each connector can have up to 8 channels, and they're all separate item lines. Okay, and they can only connect to other things on the same channel. So the harvester is going to send stuff to the drawer controller, and we're going to say the drawer controller is going to be insert, and that's it, really. Okay, and then we'll just exit out. But I wanted to get this underway because look at my nutrition. It's starting to kind of drop because I haven't been really farming crops like I should, so I'm having issues with food because I'm not a good farmer. So we're going to fix that today. We're going to make a good farmer out of Asgard. So, all right, so let's get ourselves like some of this cauliflower. Let's get a potato. Let's get wheat, and let's get seeds. Let's get lettuce. Let's get carrots. We're just going to grab a little bit of each of this, just one, just so I can show you the items get pulled out. So then we'll come over here and we're going to say, you know, cabbage. And you can say, pow, it's got a stack and 18. Seaweed. There we go. Lettuce. Okay, and then I've got the last things right here. And that should be everything that's coming from that one harvester. It's all of these things. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different crops, which that does match up. That's perfect. And if we take a look inside the harvester, there's nothing in there. So as it harvests stuff, it's going to dump it into there. Now I will say between episodes, I'm going to make storage upgrades and void upgrades, and also add the rest of the harvesters that we need, because we're going to be doing all this agriculture setup stuff in 2 parts. So just a heads up. Now next up, let's go ahead and just connect up this harvester. And to do so, all we're going to need to do is just put a connector on this. right there. And we're going to say that this is, you don't really have to name this, but we're going to call it Harvester 2. And then all we have to do is just run our cables back. Okay, and we're just going to bring this back, connect it up. There we go. And this is all going to be nice and hidden. And it's going to be great. And then we're going to say on channel 1, this harvester, we're going to say create, extract, stack, and there we go. And that one is now ready to get all plugged up. These turnips always remind me of Mario 3. the Pam's Harvestcraft turnips, they just always remind me of Mario 3. Okay, so that harvester is now all plugged up as well. And we are all set. Those are done. And I mean, that means all those crops are automatic. They're automatically being fed into drawers. And then, like I said, I'm going to do storage upgrades and void upgrades. Because that is one thing you need to make note of, is you're either going to have to set up redstone control to read when the harvester gets filled, or you're going to need to put void upgrades, because this wheel, let me remove that. This wheel, whenever it backs up, it'll just toss the items into the world, and we really don't want that. I mean, that's just going to cause a bunch of lag, it's going to cause a bunch of clutter, and it's unnecessary. I mean, this power is free from the Spectre Coil. There's no point at all in just not voiding it. So I mean, this is completely 100% free. So, and I am planning on putting some of the rustic apiaries in here just to speed up plant growth by a little bit more. Maybe. I mean, it's kind of overkill because I really don't need it. I might not in here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so now what I want to do, we have one connector left, and I want to show you what we're going to do for the kitchen. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to, right here is where the cables are going to come out, and we're going to do like this fridge first, and we're going to put a connector right there on that. And I'm going to grab, let me actually take this bubbly water out. I'm going to grab one of each thing that we're currently producing, and I'm just going to fill this fridge up with just one of everything. Because thing is, even the seeds have uses, and so we might as well, that way we don't even have to go down to the drawer network. We can just come in here to the fridges, and we can just get whatever we need, right? And then let's go ahead and get, let's get some other things like tomatoes, corn, Brussels sprouts. Basically right now I just want to fill that fridge up. Okay, so there we go. The fridge is filled out completely with different things, right? And so then what I want to do is, if we take a look at the fridge stuff, there was that upgrade, the preservation chamber. Prevents the last item of a slot from being used up. I want to make one of these. And I'm going to make more of them because basically we're going to use fridges for our automated storage. And then the counters, we'll just put like things like bubbly water and, you know, things that we craft. And we'll do the same thing with like spice racks. We'll put those on there. Okay, so we're going to take our preservation chamber upgrade. Right click that. And there we go. It's now upgraded. And I don't think it has any like visual representation that it's got a preservation upgrade in there, but it does. It has one. I kind of wish there was a visual representation, but... Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to just run our cables over. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some cables. Let's go ahead and run these up and through here. But we'll just go ahead. Let me actually name this, and we're going to call this Fridge 1. And then we'll just connect that over. There we go. You know, I was originally planning on doing this with Extra Utilities transfer nodes. But I'll take this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a channel 2. This is going to be a new channel here. And we're going to say XNet items and create. And we're going to call this drawer out. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say that the fridge we are going to create, it's going to be an insert. And we're going to leave that all as is. And then the drawer controller, create, and we're going to say extract, stack, and there we go. Okay? And then if we go over here and we take a look, basically the items are going to go to the drawer, and then sometimes this does that. Like it stops realizing that I'm wearing climbing gloves. If we take a look inside of here, look at that. All the stuff that we have available is now going into the fridge. And it's using the drawer network as a midpoint. So it's sending the stuff to the drawer network, and then it's pulling from the drawer network and sending it to the fridges. And that way, our cooking for blockhead stuff will always be stocked with all the ingredients that we need. you know, there's still stuff that we are going to have to craft, like, and which we can later on, we can automate, like salt and milk, you know, milk buckets and things like that. But for the most part, this is going to alleviate a lot of the stress of cooking, because the farming is going to be automatic and the putting the items away is going to be automatic. That'll be great. And we can never, the fridge will never let us take the last item either. I've got to keep an eye on this because I don't know if it's going to get poisonous potatoes. So far it hasn't gotten any, but poisonous potatoes are decently rare as well. So, you know, it may eventually get some. So anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. Next episode, when we come back, we're going to do a bit more agriculture automation. Between episodes, I am going to go ahead and run the harvesters all the way back on both sides, so that we're getting all these fields cleared. I'm going to go ahead and try to bring the room back so we have everything planted. You know, I've got to do 2 more rows back there of stuff, but I've got plenty of stuff to do back there. And then I'm probably going to set up a harvester up here. I'm going to play around with it and figure out where I want to place it, but I'm going to put a harvester for this section, and then maybe start building out the next one of these type structures that's going to have our Pam's Harvestcraft nodes in them. And then we'll have all of that automated, which is going to be awesome. And then I'll continue building down here as well. So, but next episode, we're going to be working with like automating apiaries and fish traps and things like that. Probably also set up something for maybe sugarcane and cactus, and you know, we'll see. We'll see where the day leads us. But we are going to do one more episode of agriculture stuff, and then we'll move away from that, at least for now. That's not to say that we might not come back at a later point, but for now we're going to move away from it after that next episode. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.